If I told you that spending $10,000 on the right upgrades could bring you 2 and maybe even 3 times that when you're selling your home in Kansas City, would you believe me? Today, I'm going to show you the smartest ways to invest that $10,000. And I use the word invest because really you are investing in your property so that you can attract more buyers, you can sell faster, and then you can put more money in your pocket at closing. Hi, my name is Anita Cordell and I create videos about all things Kansas City, what it's actually like to work here, live here, play here, sleep here. And I'm also a licensed real estate agent, and I help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest. And today, I'm going to be talking about helping homeowners sell smarter. In this market, you don't actually need a full-blown renovation to get top dollar for your property. You just need strategic options that will help you sell your house smarter, that buyers are actually going to notice first. So whether it's a week or a year, let's go ahead and start the process so that you can get on a successful path to selling your home. My contact information is going to be in the description below. There's also a Calendly link that goes right to my calendar. All you have to do is click on that link and click a time and a date that works best for you. And we're going to go ahead and get started on helping you with your real estate goals. Now, let me give you an example. I've got a client right now that is wanting to purchase a property next year, and they've got a property to sell in order to do that. They haven't even started the process yet of getting their home ready and all of that, but they're wanting to meet me in just a week so that we can begin the process, even though their end goal isn't going to be until a year. Even though we're looking at way in the future, we're starting the process now, and you can too. So click on the link below and let's get started. So now let's dive into those upgrades that I was talking about that will actually pay off in neighborhoods all the way from Overland Park, Kansas, down to Liberty, Missouri, so that you know where to put your money for your biggest return. Now, let's start with talking about the Kansas City market. So here's the honest truth. Most of the buyers that are here in Kansas City are willing to pay a little bit more for homes that are actually move-in ready. I'll give you an example. I have buyers that will say to me, Anita, I really want to purchase a home and I'm okay with having a fixer-upper. And so then I take them out and we look at multiple houses that are not necessarily move-in ready, or there's things about the properties that we're looking at that actually coincide with what they originally told me, meaning that they're okay with fixer-uppers. I notoriously, throughout my experience, have continually heard these same buyers say that they are willing to go ahead and take a property that needs some upgrades, and then they change their mind. They go into these properties that don't have those final finishes done, or it's needing just a little bit of extra TLC, and I don't know if they get cold feet or if they just end up changing their mind. It is so common. So don't listen to always to what somebody says or what you think they're going to say, or especially when I sit down with sellers and they'll say things like, well, if I paint or if I do this, then a buyer's going to just come along and want to make those changes anyway, so why do I do it? That is not fully true. That's really actually a myth, because most buyers don't have that thought process. Most buyers here in Kansas City really want the home to actually be finished and upgraded, and it doesn't matter the price point. So even if the bones are solid on a home, outdated finishes can make a buyer hesitate in making an offer, or even hesitate in looking at the house at all, or they'll give you a lower offer than what you're wanting. In fact, I have a client right now who's been looking for a home for quite a while, and when a new property pops up on the market, they instantly get notified about it, and the very first thing that they will do is they will look through the pictures that are online, and if the finishes are too outdated for what they prefer to buy, then they don't even want to look at it. They'll say, Anita, we don't even want to look at this property. The pictures show that the finishes are outdated, and we really don't want to do that. So they won't even look at the property. And I know that's a disservice really for the seller, because the seller might actually be willing to give, some kind of compensation, or the seller might be willing to do those repairs if they're asked, but they're missing out on buyers who won't even come to the property and look at it because they just really don't want to mess with it. So the good news is you don't have to gut the whole entire house as a seller to bring those buyers in. In fact, in my experience, $10,000 can make a huge impact if you focus on those high visibility areas that buyers really care about the most. So here are some just generalistic ways, and I'm going to go over these, in a little more detail, but, you can update your hardware, you can declutter, you can update light fixtures, you can paint walls and trim, and even cabinets are going to refresh your space. So let's talk about some very specific areas of your property. Let's talk about first a kitchen refresh. And the reason why I call it a refresh is because you do not have to do a major renovation on a kitchen in order for buyers to really be attracted to your space. So you've heard it before, kitchens sell homes. Literally, when I am going out and showing properties to people, the very first place that most of my buyers go is right to the kitchen. And so that is one of the biggest improvements that you can make in your property. And a full remodel literally can cost upwards of $40,000 all the way up to $80,000 depending on your price point. But a refresh, that's where the magic is. So ways to refresh your kitchen are you can paint the cabinets this fresh, neutral color. You can add modern hardware to it, so it doesn't take a lot to just change out all of those drawer handles and change out all of the screws that are around the kitchen. You can also swap out those outdated light fixtures for something that is more modern and more eye-catching. And if you have the opportunity to paint the cabinets, this is another great way to provide a facelift for your property. Another way to do it is if you have an island, a kitchen island, then go ahead and look online at some of those brand new construction homes that have kitchen islands and model after the stains or the colors that they are using. And oftentimes the kitchen cabinet is painted a different color than the rest of the kitchen. So get some inspiration from Pinterest or get some inspiration from those model homes, and you will go a long way with less than $10,000. Another way is if you have all these things already done and you just want to spruce it up, look at your appliances and see if they are getting a little bit old or if your appliances don't match. And if there's one appliance that needs a little bit of refreshing, then you can do that within this budget too. A little bonus for your kitchen is to add a tile backsplash to add a little pop to your kitchen and modernize it just a little bit. And finally, if you've done all of this and you're just wanting to get a little more inspiration on your kitchen, then this is a unique way to update your pantry or a few of your cabinets. But buyers love those soft pull drawers that you can put into your pantry. And so if you are wanting to upgrade your pantry or any of your cabinets, this is going to expand your pantry space. It's going to help you stand out, especially if you're in a price point where you're needing to compete strategically with other properties that have done some full renovations. So those soft pull drawers in kitchen pantries and cabinetries will make your kitchen have those extra features that won't cost an arm and a leg. So the second thing that I want to tell you about to do is to replace your carpet where it's needed. Now, if you've got a lot of square footage in your home, then this may cost more than $10,000 depending on the size of your property, but old carpet is hands down a deal killer. For a few $1,000s, you can replace even one room or two rooms, or if you've got an office space maybe that is on the tail end side of some renovations, go ahead and refinish the hardwood floors or replace that worn carpet with LVP. And LVP is a luxury vinyl plank that really looks nice, and you can actually get some very cool colors that also can be inspired through what builders are using right now. So you can look on the pictures online, or you can even stop by one of the model homes and just check to see what they're doing there. So new flooring instantly makes a home feel a lot cleaner, feel a lot more updated, and buyers, especially in the Prairie Village area and the Brookside area, which are some of those older subdivisions in Kansas City, they especially love the fact that when people update their carpet and put in some hardwood floors or some LVP, they love this type of look. And I personally, I don't know about you, but I can personally go into a property, and if there is older carpet there, I can tell if they've had traffic from animals, and buyers can too. We can walk into a home and see that, you know, there's been a lot of animal traffic there. And even if the property has been fully cleaned and deep cleaned, including a deep cleaning of the carpet, there's still some smells that just don't go away. And then also too, when you have old worn carpet, the padding underneath of it gets worn as well. And so the smells in older carpet can really be a deterrent to buyers. But fresh floors, something that instantly causes your home to look fresh and updated and clean. And I would highly recommend considering doing that. Another thing that I recommend doing is if you have stairs and you don't want to put wood on the stairs, go ahead and put what I call model carpet or that Berber carpet in there. They've got all kinds of fun designs that really make your staircases look attractive. But if you put it just on the staircases, it adds value instantly, because stairs have the highest traffic in your home usually, and it wears and tears a lot easier and faster than other areas of your home. And so putting this style of carpet onto your stairs will help your stairs last a whole lot longer, and it can be an advantage because it does appeal to the eye a lot more. All right, third way of spending just a little less money on your home with some fresh updates, and that is a curb appeal boost. This is very interesting because some people can do major renovations on their curb appeal, and you don't have to do this. You don't have to upgrade your whole entire yard and plant these big expensive trees and all of that. That is not necessary. If you put fresh mulch down and you paint your front door and you put some potted plants out, those little things that you can do are going to add a lot of value to your curb appeal. Remember, buyers will decide in seconds whether or not they like your home. It's that whole adage of your first impressions mean the most. And so fresh mulch, seasonal flowers, and a pop of a plant on the front door somewhere can go a long way. And I've created actually a whole entire YouTube video on ways that you can upgrade your curb appeal. And I've touched on 14 different ways that, you know, you can be sure and watch this video and just get some inspiration and get some ideas. So go ahead and watch that video on updating your curb appeal, and hopefully you can get some ideas that won't cost you a lot of money, but yet it's going to add a fresh new look to your house. Number 4 talks about bathrooms. And I'm not talking again about a full renovation. I'm just talking about updating a bathroom. Now, as I said before, kitchens will sell a home. However, your bathrooms come in at a close second. Now, master bathrooms or primary bathrooms actually are the first one to focus on, but if you've already gotten that taken care of, then choose another bathroom that's been, you know, neglected maybe, or you just haven't focused on it a lot. But updating bathrooms is an improvement that is going to help you obtain your value. You can update those fixtures, including faucets from the sink, as well as a new shower head. You can redo the flooring there. You can change out any of the hardware that's in your bathroom, and you can even update the mirror that is behind the sink. And I'm telling you, you can go to like the Restore stores that here in Kansas City, there's several of them. And if you go into the Restore, there's mirrors in there, there's hardware in there, things that have been donated to the Restore store, and find even wallpaper. And sometimes you can find flooring there for next to nothing that will help you upgrade your bathroom and save money. There's also wallpaper that is, honestly, it's starting to come back some. I'm kind of surprised about it, and some people still are not for sure if they love wallpaper or not, but honestly, I have been seeing more and more listings go up with very classy wallpaper that accentuates certain rooms, and it will help out with upgrading and making maybe one or two rooms more modernized. And then also too, you can change out your rugs that are in your bathroom, and then even add some greenery to the countertop, and just doing little small subtle things that don't cost a lot of money. Now here's a pro tip on updating your bathroom and adding value to your space in the bathroom. That pro tip is to add some extra organizational tools that will attract a buyer coming into that. This includes shelves. You can add baskets that are super cute. And if you have space in a bathroom closet, you can add some additional features to that closet that will also help with adding attraction to that specific bathroom. Little things will go a long way, and it will cause your bathroom to be more functional and yet look more modern, and it won't cost a ton, and yet your buyer's going to love it. All right, the fifth one may surprise you. The fifth idea of updating your home, especially if you are on a budget, is to completely rearrange all of your furniture. Moving furniture around is free. And what it does is it gives a fresh look. So say your living room just feels a little stale, or it needs a little bit of freshness to it, or a facelift. Go through it with your fresh eyes, put your buyer cap on, and walk through it and rearrange your furniture to where that it'll be in a way that is a lot more conducive to what a buyer might really like. And there might be some things that you need to purge out. Maybe there's an extra chair that just you love, but it just doesn't go with the flow of what you're trying to do. It'll allow you to purge it out and maybe add some extra space into your living room. And maybe it'll give you an opportunity to go grab a shelf at the store that will complement this space. You don't have to spend a lot of money doing this. You can even go to the thrift store and buy a very functional, cute shelf, put some spray paint on it, and then put some decor around it, add some books to it, and spruce up your area. Put some greenery on it, some cute decor pieces, and you've updated one whole room without spending hardly any money at all. And then the sixth thing that I want to add is your draperies. A lot of times people will forget about draperies and blinds and curtains and window treatments. Now, a lot of people who are buying new construction wait on draperies and curtains and stuff, but they will put in really nice blinds. And if you have old blinds that are super cheap, then I would advise you to invest in some really nice window treatments or window coverage, so that when someone comes through, that's not the first thing that they're looking at is those crooked blinds or the bent little things on the blind. So anyway, that's the sixth thing, is just touch up on your window treatments. And if it feels old but you just don't know what to do, take down the old draperies and then put up fresh blinds, and you don't even have to do a whole lot. I know of people who will go to Walmart and buy just a sheer drape and lay it over their window treatments, and it spruces it up, modernizes it, and is super inexpensive, and you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Now let's talk about a few things that won't pay off if you're updating your property. So let's talk about the fancy niche things that you love, or that overly personalized spaces that just really don't matter. Here's what to skip if you are trying to update your home and modernize it and you're trying to make some choices. Don't put in a luxury hot tub, or don't even put in a luxury bathtub if there's not one in there. Also, don't put in this elaborate built-in aquarium that you think is going to spruce up a whole entire area and people are just going to absolutely love. Also, that $7,000 wine cellar in the basement is probably not going to add value. And even a swimming pool in the backyard, while that is great, it doesn't necessarily bring you 100% return on your investment. So if you are on a budget, don't make those major kitchen renovations. I know I talked about that when I talked about, updating the kitchen. When compared to the value of a minor kitchen remodel or refresh, the value shows that major repairs on a kitchen end up being one of the worst improvement projects ever. These are all examples of things that might be really cool to you, but buyers rarely factor in the value into their offer. So remember, we're focused on making updates that appeal to the most people, not just a few select people who really love your niche. The most people are going to want to come into your property. That means neutral colors, modernized things that are not necessarily trendy, but more so neutral in the looks and feels of things. So that would mean don't go out and buy this huge crystal chandelier that you think is amazing and it stretches the whole entire entryway of your house, and yet it's not necessarily going to appeal to the masses. That is what we want to do, is we want to appeal to the most people, because the more people that see your picture and love the updates that you've done, we're going to have more people coming into your property. Unlike my buyer right now that I mentioned, they are very focused on the updates of the property and they won't go into some of the properties that come up on the market in their price range. And we're talking, $1 million home right now. These buyers, that are even in higher priced points don't want to go into a property and have to do all of those finishes themselves. They really want to buy a move-in ready home. And that's pretty common for buyers here in Kansas City. So how do you decide where to spend your money as you're sitting at your table and you've got your notepad out and, you and your spouse are trying to do a cost breakout and you're just trying to analyze where you're wanting to spend this money to refresh your home? Well, here's my rule. Number one, fix what is broken. Now, how do you know what's broken? Well, you might know most of the things around your house that are broken. This is one reason why I am an advocate for doing a pre-listing inspection. If you do that pre-listing inspection, you will have that inspection taken care of and you will know what needs to be fixed, because these things, even though we know some of the things that need to be fixed with our eyes, an inspector is trained to come in and find those things that might make or break another buyer from coming in and following through with the purchase of the home. So, fix what's broken. I can help you with that. I have vetted inspectors that come through and inspect on properties all the time and do a fantastic job on the inspection report. Number two, update what's outdated. And I talked about some of those things that you can do to refresh your property. And the last thing is improve what buyers see first. Of course, that includes the landscaping, but if you walk into your property and you're seeing something that buyers are going to see first and you know that that needs to be refreshed, then be sure by all means and do it. And if you're not sure what will bring you the most value for your specific neighborhood in Kansas City, that's exactly why I offer a free seller's strategy session. And if you want to know exactly what updates you're going to need and how to sell your house fast and what kinds of things need to be doing, then grab your free KC Home Value Report, and that will tell you a rough idea of what your property might be worth, especially if it gets updated. And there's a link in the description below for that. Then I'll walk you through this home value today. Plus, I'll give you a tailored list of improvements that you might need that will give you the biggest bang for your buck. And that's why I say, whether it's a week or a year from now, if you've got plans to sell your property, go ahead and have me come out and we're going to start the process early so that you're not stressed by at the end of the time when you have to sell your home or you're at that place where you really need to buy a new home. You're not stressed about the time. The right updates can change your whole entire selling process. And then not only that, but what's really cool about it is as you learn the selling process and you're ready to buy a home, going through the process of selling your home, when we go out to actually look for a property that you're wanting to purchase, you're going to be in tune to some of the things to look for to see what the seller did for buyers as they put their house up on the market. So stay tuned for more home buying and selling tips for Kansas City. And the way to do that is to hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, and that way you will get notified whenever I post another video. And don't forget to buy or sell, call Anita Cordell, #AnitaHome.